What's up again, viewers? Brian here at 3TR, and I got another requested top 10s video list for you guys. And this time I'll be sharing with you my top 10 personal favorite comic book character casting decisions. Now, this is my own personal list, and for two of them in particular, I'm going to have to cheat a little bit. Starting off with number 10 on my list is... This is one of the ones I'm going to have to cheat a little bit because I'm not sure if this really would count, but Peter Weller as Batman in the Dark Knight Returns animated movies. The reason why I'm going to put him on this list is because he had actually managed to do something I really didn't think was possible. And in my opinion, I think that playing as an older Batman, he managed to outdo Kevin Conroy. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds like complete blasphemy, but I really thought about this for a while, and I was like, the fact that I've actually heard Kevin Conroy actually play a younger Bruce Wayne, and then an average-age Batman, and then as an older Bruce Wayne in the Batman Beyond series, the fact that they actually got someone to do an older Batman, and in my opinion actually did a much better job at it, was something I didn't think was possible. And so I give major credits to Peter Weller and the people who casted him, because after watching The Dark Knight Returns again, if I had to pick between Kevin Conroy and Peter Weller to do Batman again, like if I could redo that whole movie, I would pick Peter Weller. Number 9 on my list is Wesley Snipes as Blade. This is one of the few characters that I think fit him perfectly. He certainly has... he's only one of the few actors at the time I think could actually pull off that sort of bad-assness in an African-American character, since, you know, there really aren't that many African-American heroes in comic books. And I do believe that I think he was having a lot of fun with this character, and he definitely brings that intimidating presence. I think he really brought out a different side of Blade in Blade 2. However, as we get into Blade 3, we know the tragedy that happened, but I think out of all the interpretations of Blade that we've had, which I believe at this point there's only 2, he certainly did the best job, and I would actually be fine if they didn't want to do any more Blade films. So Wesley Snipes. Number 8 on my list is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. At the time when the first Spider-Man came out, which I believe was maybe around 2001, 2002, I didn't even know about this guy, but after seeing Spider-Man's 1 and 2, I was definitely on board. I really liked his portrayal of Peter Parker. As we got into 3, things got a little bit crazy and a little bit ridiculous, but I think that was kind of the whole point, since a lot of people really hated Spider-Man 3. I personally don't hate it as much as other people. But yeah, I really think he did embody everything that Peter Parker was. The only thing I think he lacked was the scientist part of him. I think he was just simply an intelligent person, but he didn't really bring that I'm a scientist person who can actually figure these situations out. I haven't seen that much from Andrew Garfield. I have not seen The Amazing Spider-Man 1. I have no plans on seeing it. From what I have heard from other people, I'm not missing anything. But I do plan on seeing The Amazing Spider-Man 2, and from what I saw from the leaked trailer, Andrew Garfield could actually take that spot and become my new favorite Spider-Man. So, only time will tell. Number 7 on the list is Karl Urban as Dredd. There is no question that he completely owned that character. He portrayed Dredd exactly as I envisioned he would be from the comic books. I mean, just look at this picture here. Just the look of him, he completely outdoes Stallone at all. I mean, Stallone's feels more like a costume, while Karl Urban's version certainly feels more like an actual uniform that someone would actually wear. So it's the fact that it's much more practical and realistic, and he never takes his helmet off, which is one of the key things that makes Dredd such an intimidating force, and Karl Urban embodied that perfectly. I really hope they make a second one, because I would absolutely see the sequel to Dredd 3D multiple times, and that's why he's number 7 on my list. Going into 6, I'm going to have to cheat on this one because I really cannot decide which one I think is better, and it is a dead tie between Henry Cavill as Superman and Christopher Reeves as Superman. The reason I put them on equal terms is, in terms of casting, I really hadn't... The only thing that I had seen Henry Cavill do prior to being Man of Steel, was immortal in the TV series The Tutor, and he was actually pretty good in that. And I really, Christopher Reeve was before my time, so I didn't even really get to see what he had done prior. But the best way I could describe why those casting choices were good is that Christopher Reeves portrayed the proper Superman for that time period, which I do believe was maybe the 70s, maybe mid-80s. And Henry Cavill's Superman is the Superman we really need at this time. There's no doubt that Christopher Reeves embodied everything the typical generic Superman is, the go-to goody-goody, the pure version of Superman. But Henry Cavill brought a much more darker sense, showing that, Superman is not a perfectionist. He does have flaws and he does have struggle. So the fact that they were actually able to portray the proper Superman for their time period puts them on equal terms for me, and that's why I both put them as number 6. Number 5 on my list is Christian Bale as Batman. Now, I know that many would say that Michael Keaton's Batman is probably the best one. I don't really think he was all the best. He certainly brought an iconic version of Batman, but he really didn't carry that sort of dark, tortured presence that I really felt Christian Bale actually did. And he mostly shined the most in Batman Begins, where you actually see him have to struggle through his losses and actually have to build himself to become Batman. So the fact that we actually saw Christian Bale portray Bruce Wayne through these years and through these struggles, I believe he brought the best performance for Batman that we have seen to this date. That could change with Ben Affleck. I don't know. I got to see something before I have a good feeling of whether or not he'll make a good Batman or not. But I trust Warner Brothers' decision, and only time will tell. Number 4 on my list is Robert Downy Jr. as Iron Man. There is no question that this is one of the few casting calls where it's absolutely perfect, because it's not a secret that, sorry, some people are yelling in the background. It's no secret that Robert Downey Jr. really was a real-life Tony Stark, so it makes sense that he would be able to embody this character perfectly. The only thing I think he lacks is that we've yet to really see, or in my opinion, I've really not seen a different version of Tony Stark. He's always this kind of cocky, overconfident version of Tony Stark, and I know Robert Downey Jr. can actually be a dark character, and we just haven't seen that much from Tony Stark yet. Hopefully we see this maybe in Avengers 2, because it looks like he's going to be responsible for creating Ultron, maybe in Avengers 3, but only time will tell. But Robert Downey Jr. unquestionably will be the best person to play Iron Man, period. Going on to number 3, we have Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I put him as 3 because he is... The casting choice for Hugh Jackman was probably very weird at the time, because I was very anticipated when I heard the first X-Men movie was coming out, and there's no question that this character has really defined Hugh Jackman's entire career. And there are many people out there who really do not want to see another person portray his character. I may not exactly be in that group of people. He certainly embodies that character, and with every new X-Men related film with him in it, he's continued to improve on the character, and I really just don't think any other actor will be able to really match his quality of Wolverine. I'm sure we could see there are other people who could do a good interpretation of Wolverine, but I have no doubt that none of them will be able to reach Hugh Jackman's level, so that's why he's number 3. Number 2 on my list is Patrick Stewart's Professor Xavier. This is one of those casting choices where this is who I would have picked like long before they even started casting for the movie. He really embodies everything that Professor Xavier is. He is this leader figure who kind of acts like a mentor to everyone, and he brings a sort of calmness to him. Although he does have moments where he can show that he is stressed out and that he can make mistakes. And Patrick Stewart is able to bring that in every performance of Professor Xavier in all the X-Men movies. And I still state that the most shocking moment to me that I ever saw in an X-Men film was his death, because I do not recall ever seeing a moment where we actually see Professor Xavier die. I mean, I know that's been done in the comic books, but I was not familiar with that until that moment. So that was the most shocking moment for me as an X-Men fan. And number 1 is Heath Ledger's Joker, simply because I was so against this. When I first heard this back in, I believe, 2007, I was and many of us were like that. Many of us were like, Heath Ledger could not do Joker. How the hell do you go from a gay cowboy to the Joker? Who's this pretty boy? And when I saw him on screen, I lost him. I didn't see Heath Ledger. I saw the Joker as I would imagine him being in the real world, and that is something I have yet to see be redone in any character in cinema history. And it's just a shame that we lost him so soon. So that is why. So again, this is a perfect example of when someone is cast for a part, don't be so immediately up to attack them, because they may surprise you. And as no matter how great, from 2 to 10 on my list, as great as they did, none of them were able to really surprise me as much as Heath Ledger did. And those are my top 10 choices for my top 10 favorite comic book character casting choices. And I really would like to know, what are some of your guys' favorite casting choices? Tell me in the comments down below, and if you have another request for another top 10s video topic list, please tell me in the comments as well. And you can also follow me on Twitter and friend me on Facebook, in the links in the description down below. And if you like this video, please like, comment down below, and please press that subscribe button to keep track of me in my future videos. And like always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.